Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
Today on Tom Gresham's Gun Talk, it's a primer on forming a church security team, the latest from Glock, and a new hand-loading guide. All that and more, plus your range reports. Call Tom now at 866-825-5486. Now, here's Tom.
All righty, let's get right to it. I'm Tom Gresham. This is Gun Talk, and we're going to be talking about guns. Well, maybe in scopes and certainly some ammo. We've got to talk about ammo. And later on the show, we're going to be talking about making your own ammo, hand loading. Good idea? Bad idea? Can you make ammo that's as good as the factories do? Better than the factories do? And what calibers are good to reload? We got a lot of stuff coming up. We have a whole lot of things set up for you. We're also going to be talking about what's going on at Glock these days. We'll be talking with the folks from Glock. I just got back late last night from Arizona. I was out at Gun Sight for, well, really just for a day, which is terrible. Should never go to Gun Sight for just for a day. Well, I was out there shooting TV, of course. But of course, while I was there, I signed up for another 5-day class. Going to go back next year and do another 5-day class. And it's interesting. Well, at least I think it's interesting. You may find it interesting. I take the same class when I go back, the ones I've already taken, the 250 class. I don't take them enough time, whatever the excuse is. I don't take enough to be able to, in my mind, to move up to the 350 class or whatever the next class is, a series of classes. So I go back and take the basic handgun 250 class. I need to work on the basics. It's interesting when you talk or hear the commentators on football. They never ever say, this team really needs to work on some advanced stuff. No. Every coach out there says, we're going to get back this week. We're going to work on the basics, blocking and tackling. Yeah. We need to work on the same thing. We need to work on the basics. So I signed up for another 5-day class out at Gun Sight. But what I was doing out there, we were working with the good folks at Colt. We'll have some more information on that coming up in a future show. But Colt, I guess bottom line, people say, what's going on with Colt? They were in trouble. They filed for bankruptcy protection. Yes, they're coming out of it. Should be out of it by probably the end of this year. They have a lot of money pouring into Colt, venture capital money, investors. They have new lineup of firearms. We'll have some new products to talk about. Actually, they have one out right now, a new lightweight Commander. Got to shoot that. Yowzer. It is very nice. It is, well, it has that double recoil spring that they had in their Marine pistol. And it is sweet. That does a couple of things for you. It reduces felt recoil, the double recoil spring does. And that's nice in a lightweight pistol. But it doubles or maybe even as much as triples the life of the recoil spring. That's important if you're doing a lot of shooting. So a lot of things going on there. We'll have more about what Colt's up to in coming weeks. I'll have reports for you there. And we have a lot of other things going on. If you'd like to join us, 866-TALK-GUN, of course, is always the number. All right, there has been a lot in the news about church securities, shootings and attacks in churches, and some are widely publicized, but a lot of them, frankly, are not. They basically end up being local stories. And throughout the country, we hear about people who are saying, we should have some of our parishioners carry guns. Should we handle this? Maybe we can form a security team. And I've heard from people who say, we have a security team at our church. How do you go about it? How do you pick the right people? What do you need to know? And maybe more importantly, what is it that you don't know? Well, joining me right now to talk about all of that, Bill Kumpe is He's an attorney, he's a licensed private investigator, and he's been working on this. Hey, Bill, I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you for having me on your show.
Absolutely. So how did you get into the whole church security thing?
Well, one of my best business clients is a leader in a medium-sized church here in Tulsa, and they had a situation develop where they realized they needed an armed security team. And so he called his lawyer and said, Bill, put this together for me.
Okay, then you start digging, right?
Then I start studying. And I, with my knowledge of this client, I knew that he wanted it done right, and he obviously wanted his liability protected. And I wound up doing quite a bit of study, actually, and I found out some very interesting things.
Well, in the process of all this, I gather that you found out in your state, for you to be a part of this company, security company, you had to have the credentials, you had to go get the training, and that's where you had at least some of your aha moments, right?
Oh, absolutely, Tom. I was 65 years old, 40% disabled veteran, and here I am at 65 going through basically the firearms training for a law enforcement academy. And I found out, I passed it by the skin of my teeth, but I found out that I'm not nearly as good a shot as I thought I was.
And let me just explain. And you're not like a newbie to firearms. You got military background. You've been a shooter much of your life. And like a lot of people, you say, well, I know how to handle guns. And then you get into this and you go, wow, there's a whole lot of this stuff that I didn't know.
Well, Tom, the thing that really woke me up first was having to scramble to pass the average law enforcement patrolman qualification here in Oklahoma, then realizing that wasn't really enough qualification for what I was asking people to do in that church auditorium. The first time I went to the range and put that hostage target up and said, okay, I'm going to do the hostage shot in 2.5 seconds, just standing in front of a piece of paper, I can't tell you the number of hostages I killed. Then I started realizing, this is serious stuff.
Okay, so in the process of doing all this and working on this, and you actually have you've written a book about this called Deadly Minutes versus Precious Seconds, a primer on armed church security. What is it, if you had to capsulize for somebody to try to get their attention, what is it that people think they know or maybe they just aren't even aware of? What is it people don't know about putting together armed church security?
Well, the first thing they need to know is that just simple concealed carry may or may not be the best solution and probably isn't. As I was taking a look at it for my client, I realized that we needed trained shooters. And that was going to take time, that was going to take money, it was going to take investment in licensing them and getting them insured, and it was going to take a lot of time in picking out the right people. This is very serious business. It's not like defending yourself down a dark alley or having someone show up at your front door. You're asking a man to sit up there in a congregation full of people and be able to pull off a headshot across the room.
Well, as you say, it's different from saying, okay, I'm going to protect myself, because now you can understand who's about to attack you, and generally they're pretty close up, versus saying, okay, now you have to protect others, which means in many cases moving to the encounter, moving forward and putting yourself in the middle of it, and in a tactically very difficult situation where you got a lot of people moving around. How do you sort all this out? And I want to echo one thing you said. The concealed carry, you said concealed carry may not be enough. I think what you're saying is the concealed carry permit and the training, with big air quotes around training, you get for concealed carry may not be enough. Because I make people mad sometimes, I have long said that your concealed carry class is really not training. And people don't know what I'm talking about until they go get real training, and they come back and go, holy cow, man, were you ever right? I had no idea what I didn't know.
Well, that's exactly, Tom. When I was sitting here putting together, looking at resumes for people to work for this company and trying to pick out particularly leaders, particularly watch officers and things like that, and the things you start looking for, it puts it all in perspective. The concealed carry, in my case, when I'm working with a client on something like this, a CLEAT certification, not a concealed carry certification, a CLEAT law enforcement level certification is the beginning point to start training somebody. It's not the end point; it's the beginning point to start training somebody.
Yes.
And so,
exactly.
That definitely puts the concealed carry in perspective.
How do you choose the right people?
That is something that will cause you to lose sleep at night. I go into that in my book in quite a bit of detail. As a matter of fact, a lot of the book is about that. If at all possible, you want people who have already got some combat experience. You want people who have an even temperament. You want people who can think very quickly on their feet. You want people who are not given to violence. I know that sounds like a strange thing. You're asking someone to apply deadly force for you out here, but you want a person that's the last resort. They need to have a lot of other tools in their tool belt that comes before they have to draw that weapon. It's really, like I said, it'll cause you to lose sleep at night.
Well, and to that point, if it doesn't cause you to lose sleep, you don't fully appreciate the gravity of the whole thing.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things I go into in the book. A generation ago, in my father's generation, this wasn't a problem because if you were to take the average church board, you're going to have 3 or 4 combat veterans sitting there on the deacon board. The pastor might be a combat veteran, and the warrior class recognizes the warrior class, and they know these things. Now, with so few veterans in the population anymore, it's very easy for these folks to be fooled by an armchair commando, or just to think they're going to do this like another committee of the church taking care of the grounds or whatever, and not realizing just how really, really serious the issues are they're dealing with, and how carefully they need to look at these people.
All right, the book is Deadly Minutes versus Precious Seconds, a primer on armed church security. How do people get the book, Bill?
You got to go to Amazon. It's available in the Kindle store on Amazon.com. Just do a search on the title, Deadly Minutes versus Precious Seconds, a primer on armed church security. And it's there. It's priced very reasonably. It's a short book. You can read it in a couple of hours. And if you're a pastor and you're wondering about these things, it's the place to start.
Very good, Bill. Thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you for sharing this information with everybody in the form of a Kindle book. Easy to get, inexpensive, and very important. There you go. All right, open lines now. 866-TALK-GUN. What do you think? Armed security in the church? Good idea? Bad idea? How do you go about it? Have you already done it? Does your church do that? Love to get your reports. And, of course, we're open lines. If you have a range report, by all means, what you been shooting, what you been doing out there. 866-TALK-GUN. If you're looking for a safe and trusted way to sell your firearms, look no further than Dury's Gun Shop. I trusted them to sell my dad's collection. They built their business for over 50 years on honesty and customer service. Dury's Guns will buy any size collection or estate, none too big or too small. Selling your firearms to Dury's Guns is easy. Go with the pros. I trust Dury's Guns. DurysGuns.com.
The Ruger American Rifle is a 100% American-made firearm that offers outstanding performance at a great price. Available in standard size and compact models, it features power bedding integral bedding blocks, a Ruger Marksman adjustable trigger, a flush-fit 4-round rotary magazine, and a 3-lug bolt with 70-degree throw. Compact models feature a shorter length of pull and a shorter barrel for a reduction in overall length of more than 5 inches. The Ruger American Rifle, another rugged and reliable firearm from Ruger.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
In the fight for gun rights, we need ammunition, intellectual ammunition, and no one does it better than researcher John Lott, author of More Guns, Less Crime. John created the Crime Prevention Research Center to counter the junk studies being done to push gun control. But he doesn't have the big bucks of billionaires like Michael Bloomberg. All he has is us. So I'm asking for your help. Go to crimeresearch.org and donate what you can. This research makes all the difference. People ask what they can do to help preserve the Second Amendment. Honestly, this is one of the best moves you can make. If you can give a lot, that's great, but even the cost of a box of ammo helps. We need John Lott's intellectual ammunition. Go to crimeresearch.org. It's time to step up. crimeresearch.org.
You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge, Crimson Trace.
Alrighty, back with you, 866-825-5486. You can also send me an email, tom@guntalk.com. Over on Twitter, I'm at GunTalk. Don't forget to download the Gun Dealio app for the latest deals on guns, ammo, and accessories. It's free, available for the iPhones and for the Androids. It's called Gun Dealio. It's ours. Hey, I'm pretty proud of it, actually. It is a really cool piece of technology, and it'll save you money, which, why not? Well, okay. Maybe it doesn't save you money. Here's our little secret, right? We don't actually spend less money when we get good deals. We just buy more for the same amount of money, and that's cool, okay? But we can always tell other people who are significant to us, yes, I'm saving money with Gun Dealio. Yeah, it'll be our little secret. Tim's with us on line 2 out of Carson City. Tim, what's cooking?
Hey, Tom, I came across something that I thought you guys might be interested in, and I saw it on one of the TV shows, and it's called a concealed carry sling bag, SLING,
okay.
Sling bag. And it looks just like a little backpack. It's about the size of maybe like a camelback. It's kind of small, and you can just wear it. It looks just like you put an iPad in it or a book bag kind of looking thing. And but the in fact, it's functional that way. It has several compartments that to the casual observer, so you were to open it up and take a look at the inside. All you see is the usual stuff. However, there's another compartment that fits directly against your back. It's either left-handed or right-handed open, and in there you can put almost any size handgun in there, any practical size handgun. And I bought one. I tried it out this morning out at the range. I had XDM, the 5 1/4 inch competition model in there, and it's just great because what you do is you sling that thing around off your back on your belly, and then you unzip that thing on the top, and you can pull out your weapon. And it's not designed for quick draw, for instant readiness as any of the crossbreed or anything like that. It's not designed for that. It's designed for the cat. Hey, I'm going to run down to the store for quarter milk. I'll take my bag. Or I'm going to go to the mall with a bunch of my wife's friends. I'm going to grab this bag and not freak them out.
I guess, I'm looking at it on the internet. It's called Tactical Tailor is the company, and the concealed carry sling bag. This is going to be a matter of personal preference. I would never put something like this on to go to the mall. That would be like putting on a backpack to go to the mall. That would just be weird. But I guess people do, and maybe it's a generational thing. I don't know, but it just looks weird to me. I mean, I don't quite get the whole thing of wearing a backpack to carry a handgun. And I understand that, some people say, yeah, that's the way I want to carry. Okay. But then if you take it off, then you don't have it on you. It's all the other issues with it. It is, and here's the thing, it's off-body carry. If it's not, I consider this to be off-body carry, not like a purse is. If I have to manipulate it and swing it around and all of that, it's, or maybe you could call it deep concealment. I don't know. But I'm looking at it and thinking, okay, clearly there's something here that I am missing. And it may be one of those aha things, but I will tell you, even the Maxpedition bags, I have several of them. I'm going, why would I do that? Why would I put a pistol in a bag that I'm slinging across my shoulder when I can put it in a holster that has it right there? And I love it. Even on the picture on this tactical tailor, they have a guy who has this bag on his back with his shirt tail out. Well, if you got your shirt tail out, you can cover any size pistol. So I appreciate it, Tim. I appreciate the range report. I am, shall we say, skeptical. Okay. Let's see. Line 3, Bob's with us out of Alaska. Hello, Bob. Say you do not like cast bullets? What's the deal, man?
Oh, no, I like cast bullets. The only problem is when you have to size them and lube them. That's probably where the whole system binds down.
Oh, yeah, there's stuff to do. There's more to loading cast bullets. You have, and for those who don't know, you have to have a lubricizer, and generally you can size them and lube them at the same time. But yes, after you cast your bullets, you have to run them through a lubricizer, which makes them the correct outside diameter and puts bullet lube into the grooves of the bullet, particularly on rifle bullets we're talking about mostly. So what do you load? What do you do cast bullets for? Handguns, rifles? What are you doing?
Both. Right now I'm purchasing commercial cast bullets, but I've been reloading for about 50 some odd years, and that's the only part of the whole process that I really have a problem with because it's messy.
Well, it is, and people will do it different ways. Some people will actually do their bullet lubing by putting the lead bullets in a pan of lube and heating it up and kind of melting the lube and letting it solidify. And yeah, it's messy. It just is. I know some people are thinking, why would you shoot cast bullets? Cost. They are less expensive, especially if you have a source of lead. You can buy lead. You can cast your own bullets, melt them down, pour them into a bullet mold. They cool very quickly, pop them out, and you can have bullets of different sizes and shapes and weights. And it's actually kind of fun. As long as you do it correctly. I still have the story about using my wife's kitchen spoon to ladle out lead. That was 40 years ago. She still reminds me of when I ruined her kitchen spoon. I got her new one. Gee willikers. But hey, I was casting bullets. You have to, sometimes you just have to donate to the cause, She did not see it that way. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Gun Talk, now on more than 200 great radio stations. Now, here's Tom.
Well, this may be a case where I say do as I say, not as I do. I'm such a knucklehead. During the break, I went over and spent some time at one of my favorite websites, Brian Walensky's Field Sport store. Field Sport, F-I-E-L-D, fieldsportltd.com. Go to the gun room there. You might want to put a protective cover on your keyboard so you don't drool into your keyboard. Man alive, does he have some pretty guns. And those old, really nice shotguns are so delightful. Anyway, I got to get off of that because every time I go there, it costs me money. I should not do this. 866-TALK-GUN gets you in here. We're going to be talking about guns. Oh, here's interesting. An email from Barack Obama. Well, it's a fundraiser from the Democratic Party, but it says it's from Barack Obama. It says, we have not gone more than 8 days without a mass shooting in this country this year. That means that each week more families are grieving, more communities are being pieced back together. As a nation, we're holding everyone affected by these heartbreaking events in our prayers. Then it goes on, we have had more than, wait for it, 300 mass shootings in the United States so far in 2015. More than 300 mass shootings in the United States since 2015. That is a compelling number. And it would be even more compelling if there was even a scintilla of truth in it. It's not 300. You could say it's close. Well, if you think that 4 is the same as 300, because 4 is the actual number. The average number of public mass shootings over the last 20 years per year is between 4 and 4.5. So how does 4 become 300? Well, if you want to raise money, you want to scare people by saying we have to do something about guns, do something. And those bad old Republicans, those bad old conservatives, they're the problem. They just love to see people get killed. They love to see children getting killed. That's what they're saying. They're saying that you are okay with people being killed, people being murdered. If you look at, here's the thing. Public mass shootings is what we think of. Public mass shootings is what we think of when we think mass shooting. Somebody goes into a school. The Navy Yard shooting. Oh, yeah, gun-free zone. The Fort Hood shooting. Oh, yeah, gun-free zone. School shootings. Oh, yeah, gun-free zones. Public mass shootings between 4 and 4.5 a year for the last 20 years. It's changed ever so slightly, but not enough to be statistically significant. But if you're the president, and if you're the Democratic Party, and you're sending out fundraising appeals, why not just say it's 300? Because if you can move people into being concerned, you can possibly get them to send you money. So in Obama math, 400 equals 3. Or 4 equals 300. Yeah, 4 equals 300. It's not 300. It's not 200. It's not 100. It's not 50. It's 4. Gun violence, down by half. Murders with guns, down by half. Murders in general, down by about half over the last 2 decades. Epidemic of gun violence, utter caca, nonsense. And every time Hillary Clinton opens her mouth and says this epidemic of gun violence knows no boundaries, it's just a lie. Here's the question, though. If we know it's a lie, and the numbers are right there from the United States government, FBI, Bureau of Justice Statistics, the numbers are there. Even Pew Research put out a paper on it, as they did a poll, that gun violence is down by half. When she says the term epidemic of gun violence, why is there not one single reporter or journalist or anchor or panelist who will say, but Secretary Clinton, murders are down by half. Gun violence is down by half. How does that equate to an epidemic? Generally speaking, an epidemic tells us that something is running away. It is soaring in numbers. It is increasing. And what do we get from the media? Crickets. Nothing. Nada. Because they like the idea of more gun control. They want more gun control. They, in this one area, have no problem saying, look, we're not unbiased. We're on board. And they'll actually tell you that. They say, hey, this is so important. We have to get on board here. Really? You're just drinking the Kool-Aid. You're not even, where did that journalistic skepticism go? You're supposed to be asking questions. You're supposed to be holding people's feet to the fire. So every time, and here's the thing, in your head, every time you hear a politician or somebody say epidemic of gun violence, just know this. It's a lie. All right, we got some people on hold. Don't go anywhere. We're going to get to you when we come back. We also have room for you. 866-TALK-GUN.
Gunny here to talk about how Glock's commitment to safety, durability, and reliability gives one a sense of confidence. Whether you're a Tier 1 operator or you're an average Joe, Glock supports those who go into harm's way by giving them the means of reliable defense. Our troops and veterans know better than anyone. You're only as good as your tools allow. Confidence is more than a state of mind. Confidence is what you carry. And I carry Glock.
For 36 years, the U.S. Sportsmen's Alliance has been fighting to protect hunting, fishing, and trapping for sportsmen from coast to coast. Today, we are under constant attack from extremist animal rights groups who want to end your ability to hunt in the U.S. Join us to protect our sporting heritage and our way of life outdoors. To join or for more information on how you can help, go to ussportsman.org. That's ussportsman.org.
Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Hi, this is Tom Gresham from GUNTALK. America is losing critical wildlife habitat at a rate of 1 football field every hour. It's happening on the Louisiana coast, but it's critical to all sportsmen and conservationists. These precious wetlands provide winter habitat for more than 10 million ducks and geese annually, waterfowl that migrate north through dozens of states. Don't shrug it off. Get involved. You can help. Visit vanishingparadise.org.
Behind every revolution is a patriot. Just as this great country was founded on the ideals of many, the new Mossberg Patriot is the sum of all that came before it. Reliable, timeless, built to last. The classic American hunting rifle with a heritage forged over generations has come home. Mossberg, built rugged, proudly American.
I just answered somebody on Twitter talking about a new proposal, federal law, or at least it's a bill being introduced. Let's see, U.S. Representative Mike Honda, he's a California Democrat, there's a surprise, wants to allow doctors to be able to ask you how many guns you have, how do you store your guns, all about your guns, to be a part of your official government health records. Somebody on Twitter said, well, you could always just tell them it's none of your damn business, which you could. Or as I like to say, remember, it's not a sin to tell a lie to someone who is not entitled to know the truth. Eric is called in from Colorado Springs on 4. Hey, Eric, Range Report, talk to me.
Well, to all reloaders out there, who out there hates trimming cases? I'm sure
all the hands are up. All the hands are up. Yep.
So recently I got a nifty little device called the world's finest trimmer. It's made by an outfit called Little Crow Gunworks out of Minnesota. The trimmer itself mounts right onto your drill. You simply run your drill, you stick the case in there, and aside from deburring, you're done. You're done that quick.
It's a power trimmer.
It's a little metal device that mounts right onto your drill. So it essentially becomes a power trimmer.
Right, exactly. And how'd you find out about this?
Very, very easy to use. A friend turned me on to this. And on top of that, I've got a little range report regarding their customer service. I had a little issue with my initial order. I had initially ordered their World's Finest Trimmer 2, which allows you to change calibers using the same trimmer. However, I missed the fact that it requires a half-inch chuck on my drill, which I don't have.
Okay.
So I contacted them, told them I had missed that. It's on their website, and I just missed it. and they were awesome about it. They exchanged it for me, and they issued me basically a $24.95 credit for the little trim chamber that I no longer needed.
All right, and the name of the company is Little Crow. It's CROW, so people understand what we're saying. Little Crow Gun Works, that's the website, littlecrowgunworks.com, and they've got the WFT, not WTF, the WFT, World's Finest Trimmer, right there. That's cool. I appreciate it. Now, what calibers are you loading? Which ones are you trimming right now?
Right now, initially, it's just 223.
Okay. And for those who don't know, generally, once you trim them, especially on 223, you're probably done trimming. You probably don't have to do it more than once. Would I be correct in that?
I would think so, yes.
Yeah, that's not a case that generally is going to stretch. By the time you've run through half a dozen loadings, you're probably done with the brass anyway. How many loadings do you figure you're getting out of brass?
223 is not a caliber that I shoot a whole lot, so I don't really have an answer to that at this point.
Okay. All right. Well, I would say, for most of us, by the time we've gotten a half a dozen, I mean, there's no reason you couldn't get a dozen loadings, but after about a half a dozen, you want to check your case length again, because you could be getting some stretching going on there to check that out. So I appreciate that range report. Tell you what we're going to do, guys. We're going to drop all the way down to line 3. I want to get Becca out of Reno, Nevada in here. Hey, Becca, thanks for calling Gun Talk.
Thank you.
So what you looking for?
Well, I'm a short girl, 5'3", and I was wondering if a Micro Satori Browning 20 gauge would be great for duck hunting.
Probably. Let me ask you this. Are you hunting ducks now? And if so, where do you hunt? Are you hunting over decoys, or how do you hunt?
I am hunting over near Stillwater, and we do use decoys with my husband. And I also like to go chucker hunting.
Okay, then this was a pretty good compromise. I think the Micro Satori is a really nice over and under. 20 gauge is a good choice. I'm pretty sure that is a 3-inch chamber, 20 gauge. So you could shoot, although 3-inch 20 gauge, there's a ballistic penalty to be paid there. You kind of get some more recoil and you get a long shot string, but you do get more shot in there. Are you using steel shot for your ducks, do you know?
Yes.
Okay. One thing you may want to do is, because steel, of course, is less dense, you may want to consider going to a different kind of pellet, a heavy shot or a bismuth or a tungsten, because if you can't have as many pellets because of the smaller size of the 20 gauge shell, then you want to get something that has more density that's going to give you the range you're looking for. And you're not shooting a lot. I mean, it's not like you're going to go shoot 1,000 rounds at ducks in a year, most of us. We're going to go out 2, 3, 4 times. So you're not going to spend a whole lot. Because the thing is, those loads are more expensive than steel. That's where I was getting with this. But you're not going to shoot that many of them anyway. You'll really make a 20 gauge sing by going to those other loads. And this would be a fabulous gun for chucker. Just perfect. Do you have the shotgun located that you want, or are you just shopping now?
I'm just shopping now, but I've looked over at Shields and Cabela's, and I have a huge problem. It's only online, and I need to find someone who can do the transaction in Reno, and I don't know of anyone currently.
Call a couple of the local gun stores and ask them if they'll handle the transfer for you. Go to maybe Davidson's, go to galleryofguns.com, see if they have it there. They'll take care of getting it transferred to your dealership. Here's the one thing I would tell you. Some people are going to tell you get the 26-inch barrel. Don't do that. Get the 28-inch barrel, even though you're short. The shorter stock is going to take care of you, but get the 28-inch barrel on that 20-gauge gun. You're going to love it. That is a very good choice for you. And take another look at bismuth or tungsten or heavy shot for your waterfowl hunting. That'll take care of you. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. When we come back, we got some more callers, and we have room for you. That's just call me, Tom Talk Gun. All right, in just a few minutes, we're going to have the very first appearance on Gun Talk from the folks at Glock. We're going to have news about what's going on with their slimline pistols. Also, they do a lot of donations that people don't know about. We're going to talk a little bit about that. And it'll be your chance to find out basically what's going on, what's new at Glock. So you do not want to miss that. Right now, let's talk with Roger. He's calling out of Oregon. Roger, sound like you got a problem. What happened here?
Hi, Tom. You probably don't remember my first call around the first of the year. I told you that I thought 9mm was kind of wimpy, and I'd always carried a 45. And then I bought a Stoger, and I fell in love with a 9. And so
okay.
And then I went out and bought a 40 and the same thing, and you thought that was pretty funny. Anyway,
yeah.
I have amassed a lot of military 9mm in the steel case, and everything that I own, just whatever I feed it eats. And I also like the 7.62 by 39. I love that round, and I've amassed a lot of ammo for that, all steel case. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I went out and I bought the Ruger LCR9, the revolver.
Mm-hmm.
The first time I loaded up with steel cartridges, they seized them. And
there he is.
And,
okay, so they seized up. They wouldn't eject from the. Wait, we lost you for just a second. Did they seize in the cylinder? They wouldn't eject. Is that what happened?
They would not eject. I had to drive them out with a dowel.
Okay.
And so then I tried just one round, and that seized. Mm-hmm. So I called Ruger up and I said, this is a problem. And so it kind of reminded me of the story that the guy went to the doctor and said, every time I raise my arm above my head, it hurts. The guy says, don't raise your arm that high. That's exactly what Ruger did me.
Well, exactly. And that's basically what I was going to tell you is don't do that. That they make their guns for SAAMI spec ammo, SAAMI. That is the agency that certifies ammo pressure. The ammo that you are using is not SAAMI spec ammo. Military, particularly military 9mm, much of it is actually higher pressure made for submachine guns. You got to be careful about that. And the other thing is, of course, the steel case, they don't work the same. They don't, when they expand, they don't necessarily come back after they have expanded. Ruger's telling you the truth. Say, look, we didn't make our guns for that. They say so right there. And the fact that you've got a lot of look, I had a great deal on some 9mm ammo. I bought a bunch of it. It's the worst CRAP ammo I've ever had. It's really good for malfunction drills. But even with that, it's military surplus. It's all over the place. It's high pressure. It's at the same time, we've gotten bullets stuck in barrels. It's funny you call because I had this conversation this morning. We were using some of this cheaper ammo on a TV shoot yesterday, and we're getting malfunctions. We're getting problems. And I said, okay, that's it. I'm done. I am not using this junk stuff anymore. Yes, I know we're saving money, but it's eating up our time, and I don't want to fool with this anymore. So I'm going to find the best prices I can on quality ammo, and I'm just not going to buy any of this steel case, military surplus junk. The stuff I have, I'm going to give it to somebody I don't like and let them use it. I don't know what to tell you, man. I know you got all that ammo, but Ruger's just telling you we don't make our guns to function with that stuff. We say so. It's very clear. I understand the position. Well, it should be. Well, but it's not. So that's not what they do. So I guess your choice is you can either get a different gun or get different ammo. Your call. But understand, everybody, that when you go to the super cheap ammo, I was going to use another word, you get what you pay for. Reliability, accuracy, who knows? I don't know if it's safety is an issue, but I don't like putting junk ammo in my guns. And let me tell you, the gun makers do not want you to put junk ammo in their guns because it makes them look bad. Coming up, the latest from Glock right here on Gun Talk.